American producers were like, we're not touching anything that's about race. We don't want to deal with the black-white thing in South Africa or Zimbabwe back in the day. And I said, don't worry, I'll take it. I'll take it on my shoulder.
Please welcome Embeth Davidtz. This movie itself, in the build-up and doing the research, I was very excited to hear that this is your directorial debut. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It is really well. Also, when it comes to screenwriting, were you part of that process as well in writing?
Yes, I adapted it from a very famous, very beloved memoir called Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight by Alexandra Fuller.
Yes.
And I adapted it for the screen. I wrote the screenplay.
Yes, it's more Zimbabwe and Rhodesia and its independence turning into Zimbabwe, of course. But there were things there that I think not a lot of people know about when it comes to a country getting independence and what that can mean, what type of risk is attached to that, what type of emotional connections there are, the grief, the feeling, there's a lot of gravitas to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what attracted you to this?
I think the thing that attracted me to it was the way that Alexandra Fuller wrote that memoir.
Yes.
She created the most astonishing, unforgettable characters. When people see the movie, particularly the character of Bobo, which was herself, also the character of her mother, Nicola, who was a larger-than-life, very colorful, very complex person. And so when I read the memoir, I went, my God, these characters, the actor in me went, these characters would be amazing. And then as time went on, I bought the rights to it from her. I got to know her. She taught me a lot about the Zimbabwean transition from the terrible, long, bloody war to independence.
Yeah.
But it was her childhood and how she described her childhood in Zimbabwe that resonated so much with me remembering my childhood in South Africa. So obviously, two very different countries, two very different roads to democracy. But her little Bobo, that was what her nickname was, so reflected back at me what I remember seeing and being as an 8-year-old. Walking into, it was the old days, it was apartheid, it was the separation of the races in South Africa. But she's actually still funny. She can tell stories with heart, the way that children observe things. And that's the thing in her writing that captivated me. So what I loved about the process of adapting the book is that I descended into my child self and remembered with great detail the way I would see things, the good and the bad, because there's good parts, fun parts to this film, and there's some heavy parts to it as well, particularly touching on history. And I was able to use the framework of her story, but insert a lot of the memories of my own childhood. And it was very liberating to do that.
I can feel that. I mean, it's a powerful position to be a director and somebody who's acting in the project as well, because then you're pulling on a lot of the strings inside yourself, but then also expecting actors and actresses to do the same thing. Like Bobo, the actress that plays Bobo, I would love to know as to how that connection happened. Somebody who has very no acting experience at all.
That was the order. I really was, please, here's what I'm ordering.
Yes.
Go and find me a child that has never acted before. And they put out a Facebook post because a lot of kids did come in and they were performing.
Yes.
They were being performative. And I knew the way that I wanted to shoot this. I knew the way I wanted to tell the story. I knew who I was as a little girl. And if there'd been acting, particularly with kids, if I start myself when I'm watching a movie, if I see bad kid acting, I'm out. I can't keep concentrating. I can't watch it.
Yes.
And everything depended on the authenticity. So we found a child who'd never acted before with the most beautiful face and such a free little spirit. And I was saying to somebody, because they were like, well, how did you get her to do what you needed her to do? I didn't give her a script. I didn't give her lines to learn. I put 2 cameras on her, one very close up.
Wow.
And I would explain to her, this is what I need you to do, or call a line to her, this is what I need you to say. And I likened it the other day. I said, I realized it's as if you went into the wild and you found the most perfect leopard cub, the most perfect baby leopard that you've ever seen in your life. You don't say to it, act like a leopard. It is a leopard. She was the leopard. She was it. So I would say to her, say this line, say that line, look at me, look at that, feel sad, feel happy. And I could capture it on film, and then I stitched it all together in the edit with voiceover.
Wow. That is just...
It's a very different approach to directing.
It's organic.
Yeah.
It's a very natural approach because then it's beyond acting then.
Yes. I didn't want acting. If I gave her lines, she would start acting. And then I'd go, no, let's do it a different way. Say something else. Put it this way. And keeping her light, keeping her playing, because she's such a free, amazing spirit, she really captivated that character. She captured that character and she embodied that character.
It's wonderful. And the word risk comes to mind when I think about this whole project and about the memoir. I feel like there's an interesting connection there between you going in as a directorial debut, using actors who've never acted before and getting that response. There's a lot of risk there, but then if you look at what the memoir is speaking to about the risks of that time of turmoil.
So interesting. Nobody's ever said that before, of drawing a parallel between the two. Everything about this was risk. Everything. But again, we were talking about this before we started, that for me, I never anticipated, I never looked at the result. I never looked at the top of the mountain and said, that's where we're going. I looked at the thing in front of me and I felt a call to something. I answered a call that was just, I said, I'm throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah.
American producers were like, we're not touching anything that's about race. We don't want to deal with the black-white thing in South Africa or Zimbabwe back in the day. And I said, don't worry, I'll take it. I'll take it on my shoulders. Then it's like, oh, the lead is a 7-year-old. How are you going to find a 7-year-old that can carry a film? And I said, I know how to shoot this, and I know the kind of 7-year-old I'm looking for. I really think I know how. But I knew, but I didn't know. What if she hadn't appeared? What if I hadn't found the locations? What if the weather hadn't held? There were many risks. What if this came out and the critics went, we hate the way that you handled this, the way you told this story, and why would you tell a story about race? But for me, I had something to exorcise too.
And that's why I noticed that there's this parallel, the risk that you've taken. And think about South Africa. Think about all of the Southern Africa turmoils that we've had. Everything has had risk. But no one's ever said, I'm about to risk. Everybody said, I'm about to embark on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel.
That's it. And really, it's because people have said, did you anticipate this level of response? Because it's opened in the States to an incredible response. First of all, even starting with getting into the film festivals last year, starting at Telluride, then going to Toronto, then Zurich, and then Sony bought it. And then every step, it isn't something, honestly, that I dreamed. I didn't go, I'm aiming for that. I really just answered the thing in front of me, which was the call to do it.
And it's a beautiful call, and I think there's a huge message here. So when someone sits in a cinema and supports this movie and hears the story, watches the characters, some of which are good friends, like Rob van Vieren's in here. I love that guy. And of course, Zikwana Bali's in here, Fumani Shilobana's in here as well. It's produced by some incredible people, Anela Ndoda, Frankie Dutoy, Trevor Noah is also on the production team as well. When someone sits there and supports this, what is the message? What is the takeaway when they leave that cinema? I know that a director has in their minds a message, a purpose. What do you want someone to take away?
Well, first of all, what I want in South Africa is I want every South African to come and see this film because they're seeing themselves reflected back at them. South Africans are too often they'll look over at America and they'll look at that as something that they aspire to, but their own story is so interesting to me, and this is a way of showing it back to the South Africans. There's a complexity. Zimbabwe's similar enough. There's a complexity to our history. There's something at the very end of the film which is a surprise, which you see, that really gives what I, Embeth, am saying I see when I look back at Southern Africa. It's a gift. You'll see at the end of the film.
Okay.
So, children, war, nobody wins in a war, right? But the child is the hope. And for me, it's what she sees at the end of the film is what I, Embeth, see and want people to take away from the film.
That's beautiful. That's a teaser trailer right there. We don't need anything. We don't need to see a trailer. I just want to hear that. That is what people should have put up there, because that's the messages that we need. And I love films with purpose like this. And I can just tell, based on everything that I've read about it, is that this is going to be a beautiful piece that reminds us, allows us to reflect, and hopefully allows us to act and to create meaningful change wherever we see there's a bit of that.
And own our history.
Yes.
Own it. Stop saying whatever didn't happen. Look at it. And this was the thing people were frightened of. We're looking at it through the lens of a child, but by looking at it through the lens of a child, one is able to look at it. It's not too hard. It's not too difficult to look at, but it tells us a story and reflects back to us something that we all know.
Yes.
Even younger kids, I think, a newer generation coming up should see it for that reason.
I think that's going to be special. Talking about the younger generation, I did tell the younger generation that you were going to be in today. And there's obviously one character that follows you around all over. And these kids were so kind that they wanted to ask questions to this character, because obviously you're going to carry this all over the place. I mean, you'll carry...
I love that. I love that she's making the rounds.
I just wanted to chat about the title very quickly, because naturally it just seems very grammatically incorrect. Let's go to the dogs tonight. And this is, of course, based on the memoirs you said earlier, Alexander Fuller's. Okay, so I just want to know... What is behind that?
Yeah, so I had to explore that because I was scratching my head about it too.
Yes.
There was a humorist in the 1800s who wrote the full quote. And we all know if someone says, oh, that place has gone to the dogs, it means it's fallen apart.
Yeah.
So his full quote was, don't let's go to the dogs tonight, for mother will be there. Meaning, don't let's fall apart. Let's not fall apart, because if we hit rock bottom, we're going to find mother there. And the story is the mother is having issues in the movie, so it hits on that.
Is this Nicola?
Nicola, the character of Nicola.
It's just portrayed by an incredible actress, by the way. And the director. Dun, dun, dun. So, to humor the kids.
Okay.
Are you open, Embeth Davidtz?
Totally.
To go back
Yes.
to a character?
I'm actually her in a lot of ways, so I'm very happy to
Are
answer
you?
the question.
So-
Yeah, in a lot of ways I am still. Yeah. It's a piece of me. It's a part of me, I think.
Do you know when you have a character that's so embedded in people's minds that it inspires them to take on entire careers? I had a message earlier. I just want to share this with you because I thought it was so beautiful. So there's an individual, teacher Edwards, all right, and it says, I watched Matilda growing up as a little girl, and now I'm a teacher, and I always try to be like Miss Honey towards my learners. That's my goal, while also striving for the learners to achieve their best results. And let me tell you, the rewards, they are the best, especially when I see my older learners that I taught years ago still run up to me and hug me in a mall. It's just the best.
Oh, that's wonderful. That makes me so happy.
You've inspired entire careers, but with a character.
That's amazing. Well, I had teachers like that. I had Mrs. Skippers and I had Mr. Rayburn, so I had teachers that gave that to me. So I somehow had that still inside of me, so it was easy to play it.
It's wonderful. It really is. And I just want to play you a couple of things.
Okay.
All right. These are questions from kids who thought that Miss Honey was going to be here. Do you obviously you still remember Miss Honey's whole aura,
here's the thing.
right?
I'm just much older now, but don't tell them.
No,
That's the thing.
We still remember Miss Honey with the flowers?
Yes.
Brushing the one student's hair?
I'll pretend I still look like that. Okay.
Oh, come on. Please. I'm just saying, you are from South Africa. Okay? We don't age.
Okay.
We don't.
We
Not
don't.
at all.
We don't.
No, I can see that. So, do you mind listening to a few
Sure,
of
I'd love
these voice notes that came through from kids? Now, first one that came through, I'm not sure if you can hear this, but give it a shot. Here we go. I just want to make sure you got, there we go. Headphones on, take a listen.
Good afternoon, Masani. My name is Liam, and the question I wanted to ask, where is Matilda?
Oh, cute. So cute. Where is Matilda?
Yes.
She asked me.
Yes.
Well, Matilda, darling, is all grown up, and she now lives in New York City. She still looks very much the same. Her hair is the same style, and her eyes are still twinkly and bright. And when I last saw her, she was wearing a floral dress similar to Matilda's back in the day. But she's a grown-up now. She's a playwright, and she lives in New York City.
Wow, Miss Honey. That's so lovely to hear. That really is beautiful. I have another few questions, including this one.
What is Miss Honey's favorite color? Green, purple, black?
Cute.
I think of those three, I would pick green. But I think Miss Honey's color was peach. That peachy, so it's not orange, it's not pink. It's like a mixture of pink and orange together because her dress was that color and she liked that color of flowers in her garden.
I'm back there. I'm all the way back there. I'm watching Matilda again. You just went straight into Miss Honey. Is it true that Danny DeVito told you, Embeth? Is it true that he was like, you Miss Honey? Is that the story?
He did when he first met me. The day that I went in, because I had to audition for it. It was a very sought-after role.
Yes.
I went in and I just, when I read the book before I read the part that he wanted me to audition, I knew her. I said, this is a dainty, delicate little soul with a soft voice. And she loves every living creature. And she's just a magical being, and she sees the magic in children. And when I did and he actually, I'll never forget this. Danny got tears in his eyes, and he said, "You're her, you're it, you're Miss Honey."
I love Danny DeVito.
He's very
Yeah,
good. And
no-
it was a very well-directed movie, too. He's very funny how he did, black humor.
Yes.
But funny, very dark sense of humor.
But he's cool. But I think that was the Roald Dahl of the whole thing.
Yes.
You had to bring that out because
Yes.
in those children's books there was a little darkness in everything,
And
in a
he
way.
embraced it.
He
He
did.
embraced it. He didn't shy away from it. Yeah.
That's it. I also think that Danny DeVito and I, we share a height. So that was
What a
great.
thing to
I'm
say.
just saying, we do. It's the same thing. It really is. Here's another question.
Hi, my name is Eva. I'm 8 years old and I would like to ask Miss Honey what is her favorite flower?
Oh,
My favorite flower. That's hard because I love all flowers. I have two that I think are my favorites. I love peonies, which only bloom in the US in June, after in the early summer, and I love roses. Any rose, especially a rose that smells good.
wow. And the last question that came through is this one, and I think it's quite a powerful one.
Hello, my name is Yuta and I'm 7 years old. I'm in grade 1 and my question is, did the principal really throw the kids with their plats in the bushes? That's really mean of the principal. Bye.
Oh my God,
was
that's
the
so
cutest.
cute. So cute. No, darling, she didn't. Listen, this is the magic of movies. So the little girl was lying on a board with her arms outstretched, and she had wire in her plaits so that we could bend her plaits so that they looked like they were being held onto. And then she was on a ball that spun around. So then you couldn't see the board that she was lying on. You couldn't see the ball. It just looked like she was being thrown out. And then she lands in the flowers. They did something almost like is it called a slip and slide? Those things
Yeah.
we used to slide on, and pulled her along on the slip and slide. Lots of very old-fashioned compared to these days.
Yeah.
Movie tricks, but it did look like that, but it didn't really happen.
Wow. Thank you. You just you told us where the rabbit came from. You just gave us that. That's
I hope
wonderful.
I didn't spoil the
No, not at
surprises.
all. I think that's the beauty of movies, and that's the beauty of having somebody. And you went straight back to that character. I feel like she really came out of you, and
Yeah.
she lives in you.
Yeah, she does.
I can
She
feel
really
that,
does.
and it's because you've got this innate sensitivity and empathy when it comes to humans. I can feel that from you, and that's probably why this particular project's been treated with so much respect. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is out 25 July. Embeth Davidtz, it has been so great to have you in studio.
Thank you.
It really is.
Great
And
being here.
we've really just, you are somebody that was the first person that I learnt was from my country and was in Hollywood in a production, which is great.
That makes me so proud.
And-
Thank you.
But thank you very much for your time, and all the best for the pre-screening. And we know for a fact that this movie is going to be very powerful and important in South Africa. So we wish you all the best for the run here from the 25th of July.
Thank you.
The Flash Drive with Carl Wasty.
KFN.
94.5.